fellow dorks, it is the Turtle Dork back with a new trailer reaction for you today. Feels like it's been forever since I've done a trailer reaction video. I know the last one I did was John Wick. I usually try to get them out pretty regularly. I do a lot of the big budget kind of mainstream stuff, but also try to do some of the indie flicks as well. And of course with Sundance actually going on right now, there's been a few trailers that have dropped, but I've been super busy, especially trying to gear up for season 8 of Game of Thrones. So I've been working on those videos, so it's just been a lot between that and work and everything else. But this one I've been waiting for because it is one of my most anticipated movies of the year, the summer, the whole year, 2019. It is Hobbs and Shaw. It's very well stated that I was highly disappointed with the last Fate of the Furious, the 8th installment in the Fast and Furious franchise, and I am a huge fan of those series of films. And I'm trying to remain a fan, but that last film has really kind of soured my excitement and my anticipation for those films. It's kind of hard to say that they've jumped the shark or that they've derailed the train, or whatever analogy you want to use, because even with all that has been done from Fast 5 on, I've been on board with it, and I think they've taken the ridiculousness of the action and really grounded it with family and characters that we've grown to kind of know and love. But with that being said, the 8th film was a disappointment, but what we get is a spin-off film with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's character, Luke Hobbs, and Deckard Shaw, played by Jason Statham. No, I don't want to call it controversy, but there is a bit of some issues with the character of Shaw because of what he's presumed to have done to one of the characters of our Fast family, which is Han. So it's kind of hard to forgive that, but a lot of stuff can be retconned, and I think they will probably try to retcon that in the next 2 installments from the Fast and the Furious, which that's going to be interesting to see how they do that. But nonetheless, kind of going off a little bit on a tangent, which is fine. But Hobbs and Shaw, even just this being a spin-off film and separate from the Fast and Furious films, and aside from the history that we know with the character of Shaw, I'm excited just to see Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Jason Statham together in the movie. From what we saw a little bit of in Fast 8 and Fate of the Furious, they do have some good chemistry together, even from what we saw in Furious 7 with their little fight scene and stuff like that. So I'm glad they're taking what they were able to establish from that and bring it into their own franchise. You talk about somebody like David Leitch, who comes from that school of John Wick with Chad Stahelski, so he really has that pedigree of action, even though I don't think he's really made a dynamite film that has really been able to kind of combine the character with the action in the way Chad Stahelski was able to do, specifically with John Wick 2 that he directed solo. But Deadpool 2 and Atomic Blonde I actually really liked, probably more than most, but I really liked that film. But David Leitch doesn't seem to really haven't been able to really crack that code to make one of these action films that really has that humanity. But do we need that for a Fast and Furious film? I would like to have a little bit of that, but nonetheless, as long as it's action-packed, as long as you got the charisma of these 2 lead actors with Idris Elba as the villain, I've talked long enough. I'm excited about this. Let's go ahead and check this one out.
I'm dealing with the future of the planet. It's a necessary shock to the system. I am human evolutionary change. Bulletproof. Superhuman.
Who the hell are you?
Bad guy.
The mission has been compromised.
Shit. In the super serum?
Our target's name is Brixton. He's a ghost. We're gonna need the best trackers in the business. Luke Hobbs.
I'm what you call an ice cold can of whoop ass.
Career lawman. Always gets his guy. We're gonna need to operate outside the system.
Of course, as always.
I'm what you might call a champagne product.
Ooh.
Former MI6 agent. Doesn't play well with others. If we stand a chance against Brixton, you guys have to work together.
No way. This guy's a real ass. This job requires stealth. Look at you. I'm trying to save the world, which, for the record, will be my fourth time. Because I'm really good at it.
You have no idea what we're dealing with.
Hobbs.
I was wondering how they were going to like really bring in Idris Elba to stand up against these two.
You want a war? You've got one.
Okay.
Remember me?
Oh.
On my three. Sure. 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
Three shots will kill a man. There we go. The bad guy's face. You had to have your big mouth, didn't you, huh? Yeah, I thought it was a cool thing to say at the moment.
Okay. I'm sorry. Oh, that was funny to me. I'm sorry. Yeah, it really feels like they're taking some of that ridiculous action from the Fast and Furious films and they're really bringing that into this movie as well. But again, just riding off the strength of Jason Statham and The Rock and their chemistry, and kind of like their back and forth, their banter with each other. It really feels like they're going for like that old school buddy cop. Those buddy cop films from like the 80s and the 90s, but with kind of like this new school flavor that we've been seeing in a lot of these big tentpole action movies. So I kind of like that, how they're meshing that aesthetic together, and it really does look like it could be a lot of fun. Yeah, the action does look a bit ridiculous, but I like the fact. Just even Idris Elba, and I don't know if they gave him like superhuman strength or if it's that suit that he's wearing, but I was wondering how he was going to stand toe to toe, more so with somebody like The Rock, because The Rock is like a fucking rock. And I don't know how, and not to take anything away from Idris Elba, I mean, I know he can hit the gym, and I mean, he's got a good physique, so you know he can stand toe to toe with them. But The Rock is just massive. But so I mean, look, once you set a tone and you can buy into that tone, then you can kind of go along with what they're selling us. And I'm kind of going along with what they're selling us. It's a little bit different from the direction I thought they were going to go. I thought they were going to try to go into kind of a different spin, I guess tonally, from what we've seen in the Fast and Furious films. But I think it's leaning a little bit more into the comedy. But I think that's coming from the actors involved, that we definitely want to see that, because you want to see more of that chemistry between those characters, and they show that in spades in this just a little conversation they were having on the plane, and then that last little bit action sequence jumping out of the jumping out of the building, and then him getting in the elevator. that was good. That was really, really good. I needed that. maybe that's why it just hit, because it's you know, just to kind of pull back the veil. It's been a bit of a rough day, and I needed this. I really, really did, and I needed that laugh. Anyway, let me know what you thought of the trailer for Hobbs and Shaw in the comments below. Remember to rate, like, subscribe, and share. And go ahead and check out my other dorks, at MouthDork, at TheDiscoDork, at WB and at Sidewalk Siren. And as for me, I am the Turtle Dork. And with that, I'm out.